Hi, I'm Andrew Spieler,
And I'm Mary Hope Rennie.
and you're watching or listening to Behind the Sign, real stories from real estate. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Behind the Sign. There is no guest today, so it's just myself and Mary Hope.
So we are the guests.
We are the guests. We are each other's guests.
We are each
Yes.
other's guests.
And AI is somewhere
Actually,
floating in the room as well, because that's
yeah.
going to be a topic today, right?
Yes, and it's probably listening to us right now.
Yes.
So,
It's true.
Yeah.
So you went to Mega Metro Camp last week, right?
Mega Agent Camp.
Mega Agent Camp. Got
We
it.
actually, our office holds a Mega
that's right,
Metro
right.
Camp
That's
locally. But yes, so once a year, Keller Williams International hosts a large 2 trainings per year for all the agents.
Mhm.
And this one is always in mid to end of August, usually in Austin, Texas, which is really a great time in August to go to Texas.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But it was in San Antonio. Yeah, it was San Antonio, which was really neat. But what's really interesting about Mega Camp, so family reunion we also have in February, and it's always in a nice, fun, warm place, and there are so many different breakout sessions, and you get to choose what you want to focus on because there's tens of thousands of people, and anyway, it's really neat because you can really focus on certain things. Mega Camp is a little different, and it's really neat because all the sessions are general sessions, meaning you have about 2.5 days. So it's really 2 days of general sessions for everyone, nonstop in one room. Now, it's a huge room with about 6,000 to 7,000 of us.
Wow.
However, you're getting one message, which is really neat. And from what I was told, actually, and they usually do agent panels and things like that, much of the content was scrapped like a month before.
Wow.
And I can understand why now, but they wanted to change the messaging. And what's really neat is we're in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Right? Our market is a little different than all the hot spots in Texas, Florida, Vegas, all those places. I think we've talked about that, right? Where those places in a shift, we had that whole conversation about shift. Most of those towns have already shifted in Florida, in Austin, in Vegas, or they're deep into the shift.
Yeah.
And it happened probably more like a year ago.
Wow.
Which last year, the message was do the hard. You're getting into a harder market. Just stick it out and you will come to the top for agents, and just do that work that we're supposed to do with our business and our career. That wasn't the message this time.
What was the message?
Well, first of all, I think because most people have already been doing the hard all year.
Yeah.
Because most markets have already had a shift.
Yeah.
We're seeing the shift. We've been talking about it the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Or the softening is what I think.
It's like a subtle shift.
It's a subtle shift. It's a softening. We're still in a seller's market, like we kind of talked.
Yeah.
But in other markets, they have over 6 months of inventory, and we had talked about that.
Right.
So that wasn't the conversation because that was a given.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because this year it was focused on AI and human relationships.
Interesting.
Which I'm going to predict, and they even mention it, next year that's not going to be a conversation. Just like the shift was last year. It's almost a prediction of what's coming that year, which is really neat to be in general sessions where a lot of times when you're trying to pick your own sessions, you're going to things that you feel you need. What I love when you have somebody at a 10,000-foot view observing a whole market, international market even, they're able to see, okay, our agents might not notice this, but this is really where they need to focus.
Right. The global trends.
The global trends. And so I was actually kind of surprised how much it focused on AI. And I'm like, okay, that's whatever. It's just a tool. To be very honest, I've used ChatGPT, all those other ones, and they're really nice and convenient.
Sure.
That's where I walked in last week.
Yeah.
I probably use it more than a lot of people.
Yeah.
I like it to clean up emails or help. That's where I do a lot of it. Clean up conversation and organize my thoughts a bit. But I was maybe dabbling in it maybe once a day, couple times a week.
Yeah.
So that's kind of as I walked in.
Yeah.
However, that's not where it's going.
No.
And we kind of had a pre conversation before this conversation. It really, the amount of things it can do
Mm-hmm.
for us, I think we're only touching the surface.
Yeah, we're at the tippity tip top of the iceberg of where AI is going to be bringing us in the next, potentially even by the end of this year. You know, I mean, every sort of, you know, known person who was sort of at the forefront of AI and,
Yeah.
you know, creating it, their timelines have been drastically reduced because of
Well-
just how quickly it's been moving, faster than they even expected.
Well, even just in this week, so
Mhm.
of coming back. So we were there last week. I got home late Thursday night.
Mhm.
So it's not even been a week.
Yeah.
The amount of things I've used AI for just in this week,
Mm-hmm.
that timeline just,
Yep. Right. Yep.
it really did. Like, and you know, I kind of had hesitancies. It's just another thing. And this is another point of it. We use it a lot to do things for us, right? Make our lives easier. Do tasks for us.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think it was Gary Keller was laying out, there's two things it needs to do for an agent. It helps you with tasks, right? Simplifies your life,
Sure.
organizes things, but also lead generation,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't fully understand. And I know that that's going to be our next wave of understanding it.
Yeah.
But as I was talking to you, I've been talking to Bill afterwards. Everybody is coming on this wave all together. So if
Mhm.
we're already seeing this, can you imagine? Not only are we going to become smarter,
Yeah.
per se, on paper, or we're going to have more knowledge at our fingertips.
Yeah.
Our clients are also going to have more knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
which means we now are not going to be their only source. Well, we've already seen that on the internet, but
Sure.
with Zillow and things like that, they
Mhm.
feel like they are the experts.
Yeah.
So many people are really afraid of AI,
Mm.
right? Many agents feel like it's going to replace me.
Mm.
I won't be able to do what I'm good at, all of
Mm.
that. However, AI is not going to replace a person.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the people who use AI that are going to replace the people that don't use AI.
Right. Initially. Yeah. And well, I forget his name, but he was one of the godfathers of AI. And he said that you can be two things right now. He said you can either be the dinosaur looking at the comet in the sky, or you can be the surfer with the surfboard looking at the wave and figuring out what your angle is going to be at it. Right. And so he says, be the surfer.
Yeah.
Because he said the majority are going to be the dinosaur. And it's true, right? Those who are sort of the first to get their hands on it, play with it, understand it, and educate themselves about it beyond just ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT is sort of like the easy reference point for
Right.
people when it comes
It's
to
almost
AI.
like a Google for most people right now.
Right, exactly, because people are using it as a
Google.
search engine, right?
Yes.
Which is why there's all this sort of escalation happening, right? You've got Google with Gemini, you've got Meta with their Llama 2 system, you have Apple's trying to now rapidly catch up and
Oh, I'm
create
sure.
theirs, right? So there's this arms race in sort of having the best AI,
Mhm.
but the game keeps shifting and changing
It keeps
on
on
these
moving.
big companies.
Yes.
And what's crazy about it is that for me, I see it from a very specific lens because I'm looking at it for media, right?
Right.
Media content and how it's being utilized for data collection, analyzation, and then output on the visual front. Because that's where, to me, that's where you're going to see the next big thing happen. And it's actually already here. I just saw there was an email that came out, I think it was either NAR or
Okay.
GMBR,
Okay.
about a service where you can go and create an AI version of yourself to start creating video content of you as an agent for lead gen, right? Or for just answering clients in a pinch as well. Now, that is going to become a more and more common and expected thing, right? Because use an example, there's a guy named Alex Hormozy online
Right.
who very smart business savvy
Yep.
guy, right? He went and created an AI bot of himself that was available for free initially in ChatGPT. And he
Interesting.
poured all of the data of him, his books, his videos,
Yep.
his everything into
Gary Keller
this,
has one too.
right? and you could go in and you could just literally ask him a question. It was like having a direct conversation with him in person, which he would never be able to do at scale.
No.
So to be able to go in and be like, hey, Alex, how should I respond to this situation? And then he, boom, pops out,
Yeah.
this is how you should respond. It instantly makes you better at whatever problem you're trying to solve.
Yep.
And of course, he quickly, after a while, realized he was like, taking that down. It's not for free anymore, right?
interesting.
So now it's behind a paywall.
So there's
So,
probably going to be a lot of
right.
figuring that out.
Yeah, because who controls people's information it's a wild west right now. There are no rules. There are no
Right.
laws. So
Right.
it's going to be a big,
Well, so to go along with that, and there's a lot of the allure, and I see so many benefits, and so many times, well, I'll give you an example,
Mm.
and then we'll go to the kind of the other crux of, okay, how do we use this and why? So I have an example right here. I love writing all my notes
Yep.
at these things. Also at these things, anybody who is the speaker has their slideshow right up on the screen behind them.
Yep.
And so many times, because you can't write everything down, you just take pictures of them,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So I have about 50 slides
Mhm.
taken pictures of, which they're in dark rooms.
Mhm.
They're at an angle.
Yeah.
A lot of them are pictures. Anyway, so what I decided to do, this was my first try of real things. I took my notes.
Mhm.
I took pictures of all the pages,
Yeah.
and about 15 pages, maybe not that much. I uploaded them to ChatGPT,
Yeah.
and said, create note.
Yeah.
Transcribe my notes.
Yep. And that's that.
Ta-da!
Right? Uh-huh.
All my notes.
Yeah.
Now, do I need to go tweak them? Yes, and all of that.
Sure.
However,
But as a reference point.
it's here.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, after these, when you're coming from a class, you come from seminars, there's so much information,
Mhm.
and you're writing everything down,
Mhm.
but it doesn't have the same weight, and
Mhm.
you're trying to, sometimes I highlight it.
Yeah.
This now I have, and then I can go back and bold it and highlight it and all of that. So that was really cool. And I also found a lot, it's not perfect too. And,
Sure.
but those pictures of those slides, they also took all that. So they had a health and wellness gentleman, the first day, and he had so much information, so much data,
Mhm.
that I couldn't even read it
Mhm.
in that time frame
Yeah.
of him talking, because he was giving metabolics and health and liver, and here's what you need to eat. And it was on and on. And guess what? It took all of that. I have 3 pages of his notes
Mhm.
here that if I want to go back to, I now have it in my stuff. And I moved it into my drive, and now I have it under Metro Mega Agent Camp
Yeah.
if I want to go back to that.
Mhm.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
saved me a few hours.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
And depending on what you qualify, how much your hours are worth,
Mhm. Yeah.
that's an extra person.
Yeah.
However, with this being said, and we could go on and on about all the benefits and what you can do with AI, what they put at the beginning, middle, and end was, this will now require us to heighten our level of relationships.
Yeah. Mhm.
It doesn't diminish the need,
Yeah.
because we feel like, oh, good, we no longer have to do this, this, and this. That
Mhm.
gives me more time. But because of the high level of skill,
Yeah.
our clients will expect that that's just digital now.
Right.
When we used to shoot a text, hey, how are you?
Mhm.
That might not be me doing that anymore,
Right.
right?
Right.
Even responding. Like,
Mhm.
if you think about, AI has been around for so long.
Mhm.
We as consumers are now using it.
Mhm.
Think of all those websites
Yep.
that, hey, can I help you? Do you have a question?
Right.
Can I, they send out returns and all of that, right? You can return your stuff online,
Yep.
Amazon or whatever it is, and talk to someone who is not a real person.
Mhm.
And so now, okay, so our business is lead generation.
Mhm.
Our business is relationship building, is what
Yeah.
we've talked about. All of this.
Yep.
We used to pick up a phone call and have an interaction with them. That 1 to 2 minute call is 10 times more important than it used to be.
Oh yeah. It's going to mean 10 times as much
Yes.
because that is going to be in very short supply and yet in high demand.
Yes.
And that's going to be the difference maker, is that people who are there's a cap, right?
Right.
We all want to be smarter, better, faster, stronger.
Mhm.
However, on the communication side, especially in this industry, if you start outsourcing the very thing that gets you the work in the first place,
Relationship?
the relationship
Yep.
building, you're going to feel the kind of client that you'd get from an automated client
Yeah.
magnet, right? So
Yeah.
it's not going to improve necessarily the quality of your clients and your referral base and therefore your business, because that is still the biggest way to actually grow your business is
Yep.
through the referral and the sphere.
Yep.
These other things can be tangential,
Yep.
but they shouldn't necessarily be used in practice with people
Yep.
right?
Well, and we could still automate some of that stuff, right? And I'm
Mhm.
not saying here's an example, and it's again, I don't think we should be running away from it. Yet, I think this is even a bigger and a better challenge for our agents to build deeper relationships.
Mhm.
Like not just touching our client. We always used to say you need 33 touches or whatever it was a year,
Mhm.
36 touches. They're going to need to be more than touches. They're going to be full conversations.
Yeah.
They're going to be meeting in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shocker.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to knock on people's doors and drop something off to them and see them face to face.
Yeah.
But I want to kind of push back, just to kind of understand. Sometimes we're like, oh well, this will never change things fully. And I don't remember the years, but I know it was at least 20 years ago. About that time, we didn't have MLS per se like we have it.
Right.
There wasn't the internet,
Mm-hmm.
the MLS as we know it. We had books.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've heard some of our
Yeah.
agents talk about it.
Mm.
Michael Cowett, Bill Weidecker. Buyers were so dependent
Mm-hmm.
on an agent because they didn't have that data,
Right.
right?
Right.
They literally had to walk into the office.
Mhm.
Whoever was there would open the book, look for the houses. I remember shopping when my parents were buying homes.
Yeah.
And the newspaper, we would be circling houses.
And how frequently was that book
I think it was
published?
weekly.
Was it weekly?
Or maybe bi-weekly.
I mean, it seems like a lot.
Maybe it was bi-weekly.
Yeah.
It wasn't
So a much slower pace to the process of
so much
looking
slower.
and selling for real estate. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yet if you decided, you know what? That's how I'm going to have my business now. I'm going to have my buyers come in and we're going to look at the properties together.
Mm-hmm.
Would anybody hire you?
Right.
No, because guess what? They can do that on their phone right
Right. The expectation is completely different.
They're finding the homes.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had to up our level. What is our level of service and skill? Ours was at a high level. It was finding the home. Literally, we had control. They
Mhm.
couldn't get to that.
Mm-hmm.
They now got to that.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing now. They're going to get all this knowledge
Mm-hmm.
that we've kind of been holding on to.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that, first of all, requires them, they will want to use and get represented by an agent?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? What do you bring to the
Mhm.
table
Yeah.
that an AI can't provide?
Mm-hmm.
Is it writing a contract? Heck no.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee, give you a year or so, you probably could do it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the details.
You
Put
can.
this into a purchase and sales agreement in New Hampshire.
Yep.
Probably it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And plug it all in.
Yeah. Well, and this is, even outside of real estate, right? Very soon when we hit that AGI level, right?
No, you haven't. I don't think you've discussed that.
Okay.
in here.
So, right. So AGI is the,
I'm learning stuff too.
yeah. So it's the next big step for us. AGI is artificial general intelligence. Right now we're just at artificial intelligence. Artificial general intelligence is where it's going to be as smart as the smartest human on the planet, right? And then the next step from there is artificial superintelligence, ASI, which means that the AI is now smarter than the collective intelligence of the
Crazy.
population
Yep.
of the planet, right? So, and we're going to get there.
Yeah.
We don't know what that means, but I mean, I heard one guy he was talking about, and if you want to learn more about this, because I am a huge, into all this, go check out the Center for Humane Technology. They have a weekly podcast that's called
you know about
Your Undivided Attention.
Mm.
And initially the focus for the Center for Humane Technology was on social media, but they have completely shifted over to, bringing up AI as
Yeah.
the good and the bad of it, right? And I remember on one episode they were saying that like you will very soon have access to the best lawyer, the best doctor, the best assistant, the best whatever you need in your pocket.
Yep.
Right. So it's going to democratize our access to the best of
Yep.
individuals. Now with real estate, we're no different,
No.
right? You will have access to the best real estate agent ever in
Yep.
your pocket, and you'll be able to go on Zillow. You'll flip through the photos. You'll go to the open house. You'll want to submit an offer.
Yep.
You'll tell the AI, I want to submit an offer. They'll put together a bang up offer for
Absolutely.
you. You can ask it questions. It's going to give you feedback, and then they're going to submit it.
Yep.
And then 2 AIs will duel it out. Literally, the
It
2
could,
AIs will talk to each
absolutely.
other, and they will
It
figure it out.
absolutely could. And yet,
Mm-hmm.
and this is where we are created and built to be in relationship.
Right.
And that's not relationship. And that's where, my goodness, we should always be in relationship with people. That is our business. Yet when we get busy,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes a transactional
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
And if it is only transactional,
Mm-hmm.
you will lose clients.
Correct. Because what's the difference between me working with you, who I rarely see or talk to, versus somebody who's always available for me 24/7?
However,
Right.
an AI can't have a conversation with you, find out your wants and needs at a deeper level, and understand how to communicate with emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and again, this is the gift of real estate. I would say more than 50% of a transaction is emotional.
Sure. Yeah. However, here's an playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, I know. I almost know where you're
I want
going.
to tease this out.
They say that you can express that in AI.
Well, here's the bigger issue with AI, right? Is a lot of the big tech companies around AI go up on stage at these big forums and they say, we're going to cure loneliness.
Yeah.
And they've never used the word relationship when they're actually presenting the AI. But exactly what they're talking about is right now there's a massive race going on to create the best AI version of the best AI boyfriend, girlfriend you could ever ask for.
I have
right?
heard, yes.
And it's happening. And there have been people actually, I forget if it was here, somebody did a poll and they did a whole lot of research and they said, would you be okay with having like an AI boyfriend or girlfriend? And a lot of younger people said yes. Right? Because, and this is the scary part, it's frictionless. They're never going to argue with you. They're always going to be there. They're always like, they have a bias to make you want to be endeared to them and dependent on them.
So, that is so interesting. Well, you know what? And that goes back to, so one of the first speakers, actually the first speaker I heard
Yeah.
at what we call the CEO Summit was a woman, what was her name? Liz Bohan.
Mhm.
Bohan? She, first of all, she said, we can't consume community and connection. We can only create it.
Mm-hmm.
But she goes on, she went and traveled overseas.
Yeah.
And she observed the relationships in the United States are not like human interaction and relationships in other countries.
Sure.
And a lot of it was, and what you just said, friction is not bad.
No, but people like to shy away from it
Correct.
and given the opportunity.
But
and that's the
And we used to, as human beings, not be able to shy away from it.
right.
Right.
Just omnipresent in our everyday life. We always had stuff.
Well, the very fact of, people had to grow their own food. They had to get in the dirt.
Well, make it even more modern. 15 years ago, we had to go to the mall, to go to multiple stores, to get things and wait for them.
And
to
we
be there.
were
and now we
in timing, and we had to slow things down, and we couldn't. We had to wait until someone showed up at their house to call them and talk to them.
right, exactly.
Right. But even so, because of that, we've gotten further and further and further away from true human interaction and connection.
Yep.
This woman went to the far other extreme, and I don't even want to call it extreme, but it seems extreme.
Mm-hmm.
She has now built a community with several of her friends and family. I think it's just actually all friends. They aren't even family.
Mm-hmm.
That live in the same neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
that share backyards,
Yeah.
that share every part of their lives. They still are, doctors and therapists and CEOs and things like that. And they have normal lives,
Mm-hmm.
yet they interact on a day-to-day basis
Yeah.
that they're sharing everything
Yeah.
about their lives, not just the social media part. And
Yeah.
that's where, again, I think they said something about 75% of all teenagers don't have true friends anymore.
Right.
Or they have 75% less interaction in face with their friends.
Yes. Yes, that's true. There's other data that supports that on like even the physical romantic side of things that are showing that like boys and girls are just not even like wanting to be around each other
Yeah,
because of
because
the
they can just,
uncomfortability of it. And what's interesting is what you're talking about here. I forget his name, but he was one of the very senior level guys at Google. He's not at Google anymore, and he's out doing a lot of talks about sort of AI. And what his sort of take is that we as a society are going to go through a dystopian phase with AI first,
yeah.
and then we will be in a utopian phase. And that
Okay,
utopia,
give me the explanation. Dystopian versus
so
talking really big.
sorry. So the dystopian phase that we're going to go through is going to be a very hard, tumultuous time for us as we learn our way around how we
Okay.
coexist with AI.
And that's what we're feeling, right?
Right,
We're like
well,
feeling uncomfortable.
we're just at the precipice of, because the reality is AI is going to have such a massive impact on the global economy that there's going to be great fallout from it as far as job loss goes, right?
Yeah.
And so when that happens, the economy is going to kind of go through this big tumble phase, and
We don't know what
we're
that's
not
gonna
going to,
look.
right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, if I were to ask you, what do you think is the goal of having AI? Right? Like, why
Yeah.
create this in the first place? What do you think that would be?
For me, it would be to leverage some of things that I'm doing that I don't need to be doing.
Okay,
That's just like my first
sure.
step.
Take it to an extreme.
Yeah,
What's
if
the extreme version of that?
they do everything that I would do.
Right.
It,
So
yeah.
the utopian side of things is where we've been able to harness the power and the technology, and it works for us so that nobody really has to work anymore, so that we can actually get back to being close to each other and in this communal space and enjoying time with friends and family. Like, that's the ultimate goal, right? If you can have AI do your job and nobody needs to work anymore,
Yep.
and we can all just enjoy life, that would be
Why wouldn't
pretty
yeah.
utopian, right?
Well, and you think about that even from when we had to be self-sufficient. Every person had to grow their own things and get their own water. You didn't have time for leisure.
Of course. Right.
And so that was the leverage of electricity, of of plumbing
Yeah.
that has given us time. However, we filled all that time with more stuff.
Right.
We haven't allowed ourselves to
Mhm.
appreciate that time that we were given back.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's where I think the fear, not the fear, what can happen is we can leverage things so that we can do more.
Right. Yeah. We
That's
right,
that's what we think we need to
right.
do.
We're looking at it like, oh, I can let AI do this, so I can go do this, so that I can be more productive.
Yes.
Right. When really it's the whole goal for this to be created in the first place is we're going to create AI so that you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Right. It's going to do everything for you. And
Yeah.
and if that is the ultimate goal of it, we will get there at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be kind of a hard road navigating
Yeah.
through to that point.
And I think back to it is those of us who can navigate it with a great sense of humanity
Mm-hmm.
and a great sense of relationship and pouring into that and using our extra time that we
Yeah.
have now
Yeah.
to pour into those
Spend
relationships.
with others. Yeah.
I think of here, if it can lift some of my burdens so I can sit and talk to agents,
Yeah. Right.
that's my job.
great.
I
Yeah.
want to.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think it also puts us in a place that we haven't been at either in our modern world. We've filled so much time and space with noise
Mm-hmm.
that we haven't had to have those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had to slow things down and say, what do I enjoy doing? We are always, everybody's on a kick or this, and I'm skiing and I'm thinking, but what do I enjoy?
Mhm.
What brings me pleasure? What
Mhm.
what relationships do I need to pour into?
Yeah.
One of the last speakers, so it's interesting, and that's where I loved how they really bookend it, but then also threw it in the middle as well. One of the last gentlemen's Sahil, I know I'm saying his name wrong. He was a great, he did really well in school, top notch, got a great job in California,
Mm-hmm.
and he started raising his family, and all of a sudden conversation changed his whole life. And this is what it was is his parents were probably in their 70s, late 60s, and he
Mhm.
said, "Well, how often do you see your parents?" Because he had just had a child.
Yeah.
It's like, "Probably once a year." And whoever he was speaking to said, "So you have 15 more visits with your parents."
Right. hmm Yeah, when you break it down like that.
Are you okay? And this was what he said. Are you okay with only 15 more visits with your parents? And so for him, he said no. And he literally quit his job, sold their home, and moved back.
Mhm.
And now they see each other on a weekly basis. And now, but that was just a practical thing that
Yeah.
he said he had all the things.
Mhm.
He had a really good life.
Yeah.
They had some great friends. They had a great home. He had a great job that he loved.
Mhm.
And yet he was missing that important thing,
Right.
that relationship that was way more important than all of
Because
those
you
things.
can't get that back. You can't get time
No.
back.
And he talks about the 5 types of wealth.
Mm.
And one is our relationships and time and all of that. So I really feel like um, we're just scratching the surface of AI.
Yeah.
I really am excited about this year of what we can offer to our agents for very small things that
Mhm.
are going to really amp it up. I'm really excited. Keller Williams is providing with so many resources. They've hired the top of the top in the AI world
Mm.
to train us and give us.
Good.
We have AI playbooks already
Yeah.
that we just got, just so you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally, it's
Is
like,
that the one that you can talk to? Or is that someone?
oh no, so
Oh.
that's just on your phone.
Oh.
That's I think that's just a regular AI that is already being. Actually, one of our teams is already using it for script practice.
Yep.
And it's
Okay.
full conversation.
Hmm.
No, but they have a playbook,
Mhm.
Keller Williams, already of every prompt you want to use and in the real estate world and all of that. So we're going to be putting that out. But those small things that I think even a year ago, if you weren't tech savvy, you're way behind. You know what? And this sounds so silly, and you're probably rolling your eyes because you've probably done this forever ago. My LinkedIn profile isn't great, or it hasn't been great.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Because you have to choose different platforms and
Right.
things like that, and
Mhm.
we don't know what the right code words are and all that
Mhm.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I did a bio on ChatGPT,
Mhm.
and it's worked with me. It knows me a little bit. I gave some highlights.
Yeah.
It cleaned it up, gave me a long version.
Yeah.
Then it asked me, "Do you want a LinkedIn version highlighting what? And
Mhm.
do you want the core skills for LinkedIn?" I was able to just cut and paste, cut and
Yeah.
paste, cut and paste.
Yeah.
That would have taken me. No,
Hours.
I couldn't. No, actually, I couldn't have done that
Hmm. Yep.
because that's not my skill set.
Right.
I would have had to ask someone
Mhm.
or hired someone
Yeah.
who is better versed in that and knows what LinkedIn needs.
Yeah.
Yet LinkedIn, just so you know, is one of the sources that AI uses.
Oh yeah. Of course.
That's
Yeah.
one of the. There's like 3 different ones that
Mhm.
they're figuring that out as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just feel like I feel there's so much opportunity,
Yeah.
and yet the most important thing we need to do, and this is exactly what every
Mm.
interview,
Yeah.
even cold calling agents,
Yeah.
is the relationships and building that relationship.
Yeah.
It might start with a cold call.
Mhm.
The only way you get it to a closing is a relationship.
Right. It's the know, like, trust path that you have to take with everybody, and
Yeah.
and your entry point into that, you can decide, but
Trust is a big deal.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a human thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can know and know that someone knows things.
Mhm.
That's not trusting them.
Mhm. Right.
And that AI can't do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, it's definitely going to be an interesting ongoing conversation.
Yeah.
We'll see how it continues to roll out and impact things for better or worse. But I mean, I think if it's something that like you haven't started dabbling in out there for anybody who is listening, right?
yeah.
Like it's past time.
It's past time.
You've got to go in. You got to do some research. And again, don't just research all the things it can do for you, right? It's important to understand the upside as well as the
Mhm.
downside on something.
Well, and I think someone said that if you're like get frustrated because it's not doing what you'd liked it to do, and if you tried it even a month ago,
Mm-hmm.
it's a different technology already.
Yeah.
However, if you say, forget it, I'm going to come back to it in 6 months, you're not going to be behind 6 months. You're going to be behind years
Right.
because it's moving that fast. So
It's compounded.
even if you're not tech savvy, first of all, you don't have to be tech savvy because
No.
it takes care of all that.
Mhm.
But just try it a little bit every day.
Yeah.
Put something in, put an email that you wrote that you don't love, or even that you're like, this is pretty good. Put it in there and have them clean it up. See if you like it.
Yep.
It doesn't need to be just for your home descriptions.
Right. No. Right. Exactly. Right. That's a single use case. Well,
that was
sure, that's helpful, but
And it used to be terrible. Do you remember that?
yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
Now it's amazing,
Of
but
course. Yeah.
it was really bad.
Yeah. You're seeing a lot of the same use of the same terminal. I mean, I saw it in here. People were coming in with their ChatGPT scripts to shoot videos, and they all had the same sign off, or they all had the same,
Yeah.
and it's like, there's no uniqueness here, right? You're just falling victim to the same sort of, okay.
And now with AI, you can make it unique because it
Yeah.
starts learning you.
Because it knows you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
So, all right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
This is a
no,
good
I'm
one.
glad we got to do
Yep.
this, and it was great to do it just right off.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Right off of Metro.
coming right off of it and seeing, I'm excited. In February, we're going to be going to Atlanta,
Oh, cool.
which again, that's 6 months from now, not even, where things will be,
Yeah.
right? Like
I know.
that's how fast the speed of change right now with the market, with technology, with even what type of agents we have in the market.
Yeah. It's all
It's really
interconnected.
moving, and that's exciting to me too.
Yeah. Great.
So,
All right. Well,
good.
thank you. Thank you for watching. Make sure to share, like, subscribe on YouTube, give us a like on Spotify, and reach out to us if you have questions, or if there's anything else you'd like to see on here. I think we've got a guest coming next week, right?
Yes, we do.
Yep.
One
Okay.
or two. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm excited.
Great. All right. We'll see you then. Thank you.
See you later. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Behind the Sign, Real Stories from Real Estate.
We hope you enjoyed today's conversation and gained a little insight into the world behind those for sale signs.
Today's episode was brought to you by Keller Williams Realty Metropolitan, proudly serving New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, and Massachusetts. A special thank you to our agents, leadership, and partners at KW Metro for their continued support.
And thanks to you, our amazing listeners and viewers. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Leave us a review or comment. We love hearing your feedback, and it helps more people discover the show.
And if you have a real estate story you'd like to share, or a question you want answered on a future episode, reach out to us at metro.kw.com, or find us on Instagram, handle @KWMetroNH.
Until next time, we'll see you
Behind the Sign.